I've been speaking to a lot of people who are trying to build in the education space, and they say that the next frontier would be personalized education using AI.
So we clearly see that personalized learning and AI is coming across in a big way. The companies are also looking at it in a big way. On our learning management system, or the LMS, which is like your classroom in an online learning avatar, personalized learning, one-on-one nudges.
You doing that?
We are doing that. So in fact, our LMS is called Lumen, and we have a Lumen AI, which prompts you to complete the course, which gives you tips like you would do on a chat GPT. So we are building that. A lot of our doubt clearing sessions, one-to-many kind of situation in an online classroom, we are using AI in a big way. And also I feel, AI will change the way education is happening, not only with UNext, but the whole education sector.
Yeah.
Post the launch of our Lumen AI, we see 30 to 35% increase in learner engagement levels on the platform because their query resolution is faster, their assignments are getting checked quicker because we are using some of the AI tools. I will not go to the extent that it's fully AI, to be honest, but at least some of the mundane tasks in this whole education process has been completely automated with AI.
Yeah. Ambrish, it's very good to talk to you. I feel education is the only tool or whatever we have in our hand to move socially. You move economically, but socially in our countries, the upward mobility can only happen through education.
Yeah, true. Like today, you and I are sitting chatting here is because of the education we had. And I think that's like you said it.
Yeah. And that's why it's become very incumbent on everyone who's in this space to have that responsibility also, no? Don't you think?
True, I couldn't agree more with you. And I personally also, and after having seen some of those students, Shradha, who have passed out of these online programs from the backgrounds that they have come, we were one of the first edtech platforms to encourage the university that we partner with to do a convocation in the campus.
Wow.
So that when the parents and the child is the wrong word, that guy or girl comes, they feel that what we could not get because maybe we had lack of economic resources or maybe some challenges due to which we could not get those 99, 98% cutoffs, but similar faculty or the same faculty is now teaching us in an online mode, and I have put in effort to clear that program. Believe you me, it's truly gratifying.
Yeah.
Some of the people on the stage have touched the feet of the vice chancellors or the professor who was handing over the degree in front of us. So it is very overwhelming when you see that. So I truly believe that education and healthcare, these are the two things that India, everybody should have access to.
You had said something very beautiful when we were talking before, is that education trust wala business hai. Ye trust hai and responsibility hai. And then that's why you build a very reliable, and Manipal that way has that kind of trust, and that it has that image of a responsible brand. So that way, I think for you, it would also be a little easy to attract a large set of students.
True, I agree. So if you work with a university with, like, say, the Manipal University at Jaipur or the flagship campus, Mahe, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, which is an IOE, of course, the students' trust is very high. It has been built over the last 7-8 decades. And similarly, we worked with one of the newer IIMs, IIM Indore. There also we saw that the students' trust in the brand helps us reduce the CACs, now to talk a little bit of a business language. And therefore, if you see at UNext, we have been a little bit under the radar. We have always prioritized that the students should see the university or the college brand from where he or she is going to get the education. And we will promote that and get the student the best quality education for the price or the marks that he or she has and do that program.
You know, UNext, again, a brand which is gaining a lot of prominence. And I didn't know, and today I got to know that it is part of the Manipal group. Bataiye, what sets UNext very differently?
So UNext, I think the difference is that we are a startup but a part of a large corporate group, which is the Manipal Education and the medical group, which has I think, a multi-decadal legacy in education. Second thing that is that we are a late entrant to the edtech market, so to say. UNext got launched in the year 2021, so about 3.5 years back. So I think we have a late mover advantage, so to say, what not to do in edtech. And that is what we have tried to build. We are focused around the higher education segment largely, which is basically post-class 12. So offering online courses and programs in partnership with the universities and colleges and helping them launch online courses like online MBA, online BBA, etc. And the last 3 years has been a great journey. We have partnered with, of course, the 3 large universities which the Manipal group has in India. And we had partnerships with a few other institutes also. And so that gives us a very unique perspective on how to take education, make it affordable and accessible to the large parts of India. And that's what our mission has been. And our courses are very affordable. So I think that's also what sets us apart. Other thing that, in my view, Shradha, what we have seen on my journey in the last 4.5 years has been that education is a high trust business, like your financial services or healthcare. So UNext is more of a platform play. You can look at it as like a two-way marketplace model. One side are the universities and colleges, and other side are our learners, and we bring them together. And the learners could be like you and me wanting to do an online course from a university or a college, or it could be enterprise learners from companies wanting to upskill, reskill into newer areas like AI that we were talking about. So that's what we are trying to bridge. So we are more about working in partnership with college and universities and corporates rather than building UNext as a consumer brand, but more like UNext as a platform brand, like in e-commerce you would do.
Yeah, I want to ask you this, Ambrish, is that during pandemic, the world shifted that pura edtech is online. Yeah. And then after pandemic, it became like everything is offline. You have to tell me, where is the truth?
So the truth is, like in life, somewhere in between. So it's I think, in my view, if I can just take a step back, I think for K-12, which is the kids say from grade 1 to 12, I think there lot of offline will always be there, because the best form of learning for kids of that age is social learning, one-on-one learning.
Yeah.
And if you read behavioral science, one-on-one learning is still always the best. Right?
Yeah.
So that part moved very sharply in COVID because schools shutting down to online, and a lot of people thought that it will be completely online, but that completely came back. In higher education, what happened? Higher education is a more evolved learner. He's already, say, 22, 23 years old. He's doing an online MBA. He has seen life. उसने सब कुछ थोड़ा देखा हुआ है. So that person is very aware that why is he doing an online program and not a campus MBA? Because maybe cost, location, marks, whatever. So in my view, education will be hybrid. Online will gain more momentum, but in the higher education space, and I can speak more confidently there because we are in this business, I think there it will grow by leaps and bounds because of the demographic of the learner profile itself. But for the test prep market, these coaching institutes and all, I think there online will be an enabler, but offline will continue to have a strong presence. And therefore you see this kind of little bit of, how do I say, the balance now being reached, where even the large online players in the tech space have now said that we will go offline and online, and hybrid is the word, or bionic is the word which everybody is now using. So that's where we see education will be.
Yeah. I want to pick on what you said, that you're affordable. And it's very important when we talk about India, because we are a country which is aspirational, which wants, gives like families put all their money for education, it's important, like I feel it's very important that the pricing is done in the right way. So tell us about your thinking, that how are you pricing? And especially I want to call this out at, on the back of what we've seen in the edtech space.
Yeah, so for us, we have always been affordable. So like say like one of our one of our good ranked universities, their online MBA is for 99,000 rupees for 2 years, which is per semester. If you see 4 semesters in a typical MBA, it's about 25,000. And then there are scholarships offered if you have certain amount of marks in your class 12th or graduation. So truly it makes it affordable, If you look at some of our undergrad programs like online BA, BCom, BBA, some of them are at price points of 70,000, 75,000, and with scholarships it will come down to roughly around say 60K, which over 6 semesters is hardly 10,000 rupees.
Yeah.
So it is truly, for a lack of a better cliched word, it is democratizing education.
Yes.
And we are always believing that if you take a good university brand with the commitment of the faculty over there in an online avatar, there are students who are willing to spend some good amount of money so that we can offer quality. It cannot be free, and therefore make education accessible and affordable and lead to outcomes and opportunities. Because India mein, without opportunities for learning, it also looks as a sunk cost, right? So that's another area that we are working towards.
Yeah, but I have to ask you this. How do I get to know you next? Because you're not out there. Is it like a very conscious decision?
Consciously, we have been trying to be low profile because we feel our outcomes will speak for ourselves. When the universities see that they are getting more learners into their fold, those learners will see that we are getting outcomes and opportunities, they will come back to us. And also because we are backed by the family office and the promoter group of MEMG, our current founder chairman Ranjan, he's also a very low profile person. So a little bit, I think both of us in that sense like to play it that way, and it works for us.
I want to ask you this question. I've been speaking to a lot of people who are trying to build in the education space, and they say that the next frontier would be personalized education using AI.
I think, yeah, that's what everybody is talking, and we are also experimenting with it. On our enterprise side, where we work with companies that I was telling you, we work with, we have just got Manipal Academy of Banking, which is part of UNext now. So we clearly see that personalized learning and AI is coming across in a big way. The companies are also looking at it in a big way. On our learning management system, or the LMS, which is like your classroom in an online learning avatar, personalized learning, one-on-one nudges.
You doing that?
We are doing that. So in fact, our LMS is called Lumen, and we have a Lumen AI, which prompts you to complete the course, which gives you tips like you would do on a chat GPT. So we are building that. We are not there as yet. A lot of investments required, but we are slowly getting there. A lot of our doubt clearing sessions, one-to-many kind of situation in an online classroom, we are using AI in a big way. And also I feel, AI will change the way education is happening, not only with UNext, but the whole education sector.
Yeah.
The best way to look at personalized learning is the way you use Google Maps. It reduces the anxiety of travel. Sometimes you exactly know where from Bangalore A to B you have to go, but it reduces your anxiety when you see that it's only 20 minutes and not 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think some of this personalized learning will reduce that anxiety in the learner, that how will I clear this course? Where is that personal interaction one-on-one coming from? So I'm a big believer in that, and I think AI will be a game-changing thing across from, I think, K-12 to higher ed to enterprise learning, upskilling, professional skilling, everywhere.
Yeah. So you're saying that there is a lot of focus on that for you.
Yeah. And for AI also, it is improving the efficiency and outcomes of our learners. The same query resolution that suppose we were doing it through writing much longer algorithms, working with more mentors, more instructors. Now, clearly, some of this is pivoting to AI, which is bringing in efficiency. There are faster response times to the learners, which in turn is increasing our engagement level with the learners. We see almost post the launch of our Lumen AI, we see 30 to 35% increase in learner engagement levels on the platform because their query resolution is faster, their assignments are getting checked quicker because we are using some of the AI tools. I will not go to the extent that it's fully AI, to be honest, but at least some of the mundane tasks in this whole education process has been completely automated with AI.
Yeah. One of the big challenges in online is the completion of courses. वो कैसे solve कर रहे हैं?
So for us, touchwood, things have been good. So we have a completion rates of almost 80-84%
Really?
on our
How?
online degrees.
How?
A is that we have always been very conscious to get the right learner to the right program. The problem happens in EdTech if you get everybody onto the platform and tell them that I'll make you a data scientist in 6 months, but his undergrad degree is BA in philosophy. That's not going to happen, right? Then he will lose interest in the course.
Yeah.
So what we have done is we've got the right cohort and matched it with the right courses.
So you spend time in getting the cohort
right? So we spend time in getting the cohort right and also getting the content right for the right cohort. So we customize the content. So within an MBA cohort, we will try to see how the batch profile is. And we'll teach them a little differently. Because if you, like, I'll be honest, like suppose there's a guy who's got 90% marks all his life, you give him a Harvard Business School case study and all, he'll solve it. But a person who's had a tough educational career for whatever reason, now immediately you put him at the top of the heap with the best in class content, immediately he will struggle and feel very overwhelmed.
Yes.
And that's where also some of the dissonance happens in the online programs because, you know, it's the same for everyone. So for us, it is right content for the right cohort and the right learner. And then when that all of three come together, then the learner himself feel encouraged to complete the course. After all, he's paid money.
Yeah.
And in our case, the consumer and the customer are the same. Because he's 26, 27 years old is the average age of our learner profile on online courses. He's paying 99% out of his own pocket. So that also creates a big difference. Intention होता है उसका कि मैंने खरीदा है मैं ही complete करूँगा. And plus he gets a certificate from a top ranked university or college. That itself is a decent outcome.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can use this in his current job, go to HR and say that, see, I've done this, can I be eligible for a promotion or going up my career? Like in your company, you would encourage such a person, you know, who has taken some initiative on his or her own. So that's how we are solving for it. We are not yet there, but this is what my learning was. That if you just throw everything at the student, then he will lose interest.
Yeah. You know, Ambrish, when we were growing up, for us, getting the marks was very important, and I'm sure it is even today. It will remain. I don't know how long it will remain, but there was no, like, I look back at my education and I feel that I wish there was emphasis just on learning, not on marks. You know, just upgrading your, you know, reading more of literature, or studying maybe AI or not. Us समय चलो AI नहीं, but something new.
Yeah.
Do you see that shifting in our country, which is so largely test prep or marks karna, exam clear karna? Do you think the orientation to just learn for the learning's sake is growing in our country?
So I'll answer it in two parts. One is the test prep part that you touched. That I think Shradha will continue because of the size of our population and job outcomes and all are a supply side issue. So demand is there, but the supply is less. So hence, you will need a funnel through which to push people. So I think for some more foreseeable future, it will continue, but I hope it gets better. I genuinely hope.
And you are not planning to get in that domain?
That we are not going to go there. The second aspect is the higher education part where we are working with, say, people who are already in the job market or people who are small and medium enterprise business owners, women who are, say, in a small town don't have an access. There is a college, but it is just a building. And that building is called college. There is no education technically being provided. We are seeing a lot of those women learners coming to us. And many of them are not coming to us for a job or employability because on our platform, from day one thing I was very clear that we will not offer job guaranteed programs. We'll try for opportunities. We'll try for outcomes in terms of employability. And I have seen there are a lot of people who have just come and learned because they feel like there's a beautiful story of, I think Jaipur or some lady who did her program because her daughter was doing an online MBA, and her daughter said that, Mama, you also do an online MBA, and she used to run, I think, a store or something in Jaipur or near Jaipur. And she said, I just wanted to know what are this digital marketing is, how to get onboarded as a seller. And her daughter nudged her and she did. This is like, because I think I spoke to that lady, she had some issue on some platform related and it got escalated. And then I was so pleasantly surprised that what you were saying is there are learners like that today who are coming onto the platform to do a course for the sake of education and not for it. But those are still few. I do agree with you completely. But I think it will change eventually. We have people who are doing, like we launched a Gen AI for start like those Rapidx English course used to be there 20 years back.
Of course.
So it's like a starter pack for Gen AI. How do you use a chat GPT more efficiently?
How much do you charge for that?
That's kind of free actually.
Okay.
It goes free with the courses right now. I'm not monetizing that. So there are a lot of people in the 50s, early 50s, late 50s, 60s even coming and just learning because they're talking to their kids and they want to be cool also,
Yeah.
So I think those are the advantages we have of catering to a segment which is not aiming for clearing an exam or not going from class 8 to 9th with 100% of marks. So I think I'm enjoying this journey of would you say
so as a
outcomes are
demographic,
important.
you are saying that there are pockets now you are seeing where one is learning for learning's sake also.
Yes. There are profile of people who are doing learning for the learning's sake because they know if they don't do that, they will be left behind in whatever work they are doing. Even if they are running their own small business, they will be left behind.
In our country of 1.4 billion people, again, someone who is in the education domain, profession, skilling, reskilling, just tell us one or two things that we need to do right as a country and focus on so that ये जो threat है जो है ये भी real है.
Correct. Yeah, there is a threat. You can't
for a lot of people because we are a volume country. What do you think we should do?
So I think, going back to our example of learning computers 20 years back, right? I think AI should become part of the curriculum. I think the government is also making a lot of steps with the new education policy, both at the school level as well at college level and universities level. So I think everybody should, he or she, get used to basics of AI. Online learning platform like ours and many others are launching courses. Some of it is almost free, and you should start getting used to it. Second thing is, I think the government has in this budget also announced about apprenticeship, etc. On that, I think we should focus on newer technologies like not only Gen AI, but also, like you touched upon, a little bit of robotics. Because these are the things that a country of our size can take benefit of and also contribute towards it through the manufacturing route. So I think AI should become a part of curriculum. And I think as the technology also advances and it is going at such a fast clip that I think Shradha will have no choice but to do it. So I think we'll be pushed into it, all of us, to ensure that our kids, our colleagues, the companies, like even we are a tech company. We are promoting skilling in corporates, in banks, in emerging tech areas, but we are reskilling our employees. Now, everybody of ours has to complete a course in Gen AI, which we have developed it internally. They want to do it something on an outside platform. It's compulsory for them. You have to do something so that you know the new technologies that are going to impact us.
Yeah.
So that's clearly the way. And I think India will be at the forefront because we are the human capital base for the world. Whichever industry you touch, we are pretty much there. So I'm quite bullish and hopeful. But yes, it does require concerted effort from the industry, the government, and platforms like ours in education and the offline education ecosystem also to promote it in a big way.
Yeah, and I also believe that we are very hardworking and hustling kind. So we will
true.
manage
so I think, we'll pull through. And I think we'll see a lot of innovative edge cases in AI which world has not seen coming from
Yeah,
India.
but somewhere we are also recognizing that this is something to look, we have to consider, because we have a young population. It is a demographic dividend, and we are from Bihar, and there I was told that 65% of the population is less than 30 years of age,
Yeah.
and so one has to think about that also.
No, true. I think, yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Because we have to take them, and online learning is in a big way, not like uh, putting in UNext there, but I'm just saying any online learning platform can help with these newer technologies.
Yeah.
Because AI doesn't require you to go to a factory to try out some models to learn, right? The whole use case of AI is that it will be available to you as you and I are talking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It will be transcripted, whatever I'm saying in Hindi or
Yeah.
English. So for our populous states like Bihar, where both of us belong from, or UP, or some of the other northern states, and all India also, I think AI will help the education paradigm in a big way.
Yeah.
What you touched upon, the personal tutor,
Yeah.
or the personalized learning through AI. I think that's very, very critical, along with the infrastructure boost which is happening in India all over the country. An education boost of that nature powered by AI is also the need of the hour.
Yeah.
To bring people up the skill ladder.
Yeah. Tell me about Ranjan Pai, because he's such a legend in the, at least I hear from so many startups that they look at him for investment and everything. And he's also, I'm assuming, the promoter for
Yeah.
this. What is it like working with him?
So yeah, Ranjan is a great guy. I've known him now for almost 5 years, and uh, he's a he's a very sharp mind. He sees opportunities where sometimes I think you and I might miss, but he has an eye for that. He has an eye for, I think, also spotting talent within the entrepreneurial ecosystem in India and backing them. And I think he's truly passionate about what I see is education and healthcare, of course, but the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem in India, and makes time for people. I have referred quite a few entrepreneurs to him to go meet him, just pitch their idea, or to just have a conversation with him. They might be already successful, also, some of them. And he just makes time. I'm amazed. I WhatsApp him, I'll get a reply within minutes if he's not in a flight or a
Wow.
mobile zone. So I think it has been I've been fortunate to work alongside him in building UNext, and what he has built, Manipal Education and the medical group with the hospitals and all the new startup ecosystem that he's helping out. I think it's great, and yeah, you should meet him.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere I just think that Manipal again stands. There is this, there are very few Indian brands who are able to build that kind of trust. Like, I look at Tata's in a certain way, right? Like, for whatever, Tata to me is trust. And for most of us as Indians, it is. Somewhere I just think that Manipal does it right. And they
Yeah,
build
true.
that.
No, I think the trust and the legacy that is there in healthcare and education for the Manipal group, and I did my MBA from Manipal, like I was telling you. So, I think it's phenomenal what they have done in transforming a small hamlet into one of the largest education towns in the world.
Yeah.
It's a story that is worth telling, and it's phenomenal. And on the hospital side, the kind of trust, like you rightly said, I refer people all the time to Manipal Hospital, and I get requests that you are associated somehow. Can you just tell us which hospital to go and all that? It's just amazing and inspiring to see that how large institutions have been built over a period of time and continue to innovate with the changing times.
Yeah, and UNext, I think, is a great example of that.
Yeah, we are hopefully building on that legacy, and yeah, if God is kind and the way the business has grown in the last 3-4 years, I think, yeah, some good times ahead for us.
And Ambrish, I have to ask you, is that what got you to do this? You've been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so for me, yeah, a little bit of serendipity was involved. I met Ranjan, and I was inspired by the vision that he had. And I was always looking to do something on the tech side. I had done I had worked in financial services, done fintech, done e-commerce. And post that, I was looking to build something from ground up. And this was a good opportunity, like an entrepreneur in residence model, where I have some cushion and cover to experiment with. And so, yeah, and education is something that I'm deeply passionate about. And I feel it creates impact, not just for the work, just saying for the sake of it.
You're able to see it.
You're able to see it. And like briefly, I was sharing with you my personal journey. I have seen, and in my family also, I have had educationists. And I see the impact that it can create at scale. And I always felt that a brand like Manipal had the right to win in that market, and we did not have a product at that point of time. And that with UNext, I think now we have a product which is being liked by our learners. And I think we should take that forward. So for me, it was about building a company, again, ground up, but part of a larger ecosystem, which really is challenging in its own way.
Yeah.
So it was exciting.
Yeah.
So good fun.
UNext you.
I think what I can say is that you will get a good quality education at a good price point and fulfill some of the aspirations that you had while joining that program.
If I, as a student, don't get good marks, matlab, it's all about marks, and I still have marks horror, like everyone has to keep getting great marks, is अगर मुझे नहीं आया, मुझे 40% आ गया, पता नहीं आज कौन सा percentage है low, तो क्या मैं apply कर सकती हूँ?
So yeah, so we have different cutoffs in different courses because, like I told you, the content has to be curated to the learner. So we have courses where the minimum requirement could be 60% marks. There are courses where the requirement is 50%, and there are courses where the requirement is 40% also. So our objective is that you should have a base, because it's a higher education model. You should have a basic grounding in studies, then we'll take care. But we are not wanting to say that you should have 99.8%.
Yeah, it's important to call that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. जो जिंदगी में अच्छा करते हैं, एक दो चीज सही क्या करते हैं?
The only way is through. You have to follow through. So you have to complete the course, and you have to do it in the right way. So that is, and yeah, and I have also been through a lot of journeys, not so good and bad. I think that's the key. The only way is through.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful, and I'm hoping that everyone reflects on it, that the only way is through. Keep going.
True. Like you have done with your story.
Keep going.
I'm a big fan.
No, thank you. That's very kind of you. And I loved having this conversation. And I would request everyone to check out UNext. And I'll also look at kaun sa course kar sakti hu.
Done.
And age is no limit for this.
Yeah.
Huh?
And you are young.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Likewise.